Hi friends, Kylie with Peony and Pine Collective. Today I'm here to tell you how not to make a almost $50 mistake like I did. This skirt right here, absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. I ended up finding this at the Goodwill bins, and the material is so light and airy that it literally cost me less than $1 for this skirt here. At my bins, it's $1.69 a pound for whatever goodies you find. There is no other price break except by poundage. So this skirt weighed literally less than 6 ounces. It is absolutely stunning. So here's kind of where I like to take your brain, especially a lot of you guys are just starting Whatnot, starting your own reselling journey. I've been a Whatnot high volume liquidation live seller for the past 4 years, and I have turned myself around to curated thrifting, and I am primarily a focused static seller now. So this skirt right here was a brand I never heard of. I loved the style of it, which is why I picked it up. And then also, I'm not your Bolo hunter, okay? I don't know all the brands. I don't know all the tags. I don't know all the styles yet. And to be honest with you, this was just absolutely stunning. I had a boho raid train coming up. And normally when I sell on Whatnot, it is boho, athleisure, comfort, pretty much, streets to work type of outfits, that sort of thing. And when I picked this up, I was panic sourcing for an upcoming Whatnot show. So take on that again. Again, my brain is in 100 different directions because Whatnot has been my home for the last 4 years. And I have been slowly letting it go because it's just not fitting into my business model the way some people are trying to blend it all together. So I am primarily a static seller at this point. This skirt right here again, $285 retail on this brand here. So if you are watching to learn a Bolo brand, there you go. I found one. How exciting. So I completed my Whatnot show. I do $5 starts on all of my goodies on Whatnot on my pre-loved life. And it didn't sell. It did not sell. So how I strategize my Whatnot shows is I do preloaded shows with sometimes some random pull in it, depending if I'm doing a raid train or if I'm doing my own standard shows. However, this one was part of a preloaded show. I had the auction set at $5. Now, when I'm prepping for my Whatnot shows, I'm not doing any research on any of the items. No, ma'am. It is 100% volume focused when you are on Whatnot. I'm telling you right now, it is 100% volume focused. So I had a set of some random pull items for this show. I also had some preloaded in there. And then after this show is when I went fully preloaded. So anyway, if the items did not sell on my Whatnot show, they go directly to my platforms. And how I do that is I utilize Nifty. So if I'm doing a preloaded auction show on Whatnot in my Nifty app, I load everything through there. So then that way titles are entered, descriptions are entered, all the sizes are entered, all the information you need to make it live on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, Mercari is already done. So if it does not sell on my preloaded auction Whatnot show, I immediately kind of kill two birds with one stone. I don't have to take any more photos that day. I can not hopefully, but if they don't sell, the photos are already done, descriptions are already done, everything's there to then cross list to my platforms. So with this item here, again, $285 retail. I thought it was a cute dress and I thought the brand tag looked fancy. So did not sell, probably because of size, to be honest with you. A lot of my my chaos crew is what I call them on my Whatnot channel and my supporters throughout my business journey. They primarily love the large to 2X. That's where my clientele sits, and I love it because I love sourcing for those type of things. But so why didn't it sell on Whatnot? Most likely because of the size. However, I must not have had a reseller in my show that day because that brand right there, again, make sure you put it on your Bolo list. It is fire hot. It is so good. So good and super pricey. So anyway, that is how I almost made my $50 mistake. I ended up cross-posting that. When I do that, I then am doing research as well, because When you upload it into your Nifty app, you're putting it in. Are you guys getting like 3 million freaking survey spam call? Oh, it drives me nuts. Sorry, let me turn this off really quick. There, now we won't be bothered. It's like my fourth one this morning that's, hey, please, do you have a minute to take the survey? No, I do not. No, I don't. But I did my research after, of course, going to cross list it, and I was like, oh my God, I almost sold this for a $5 start on Whatnot. Are you kidding me? Ay, ay, ay. So I learned my lesson almost the very, very hard way of letting that go for $5. I learned my lesson when I cross posted it. I had it listed for 65 on the other platforms, and I did get an offer yesterday for 50. So she gone, she out the door. So absolutely, I took it for the offer of $50. Again, that cost me less than $1 at the bins, just because, again, that material was so airy, so lightweight. It didn't even weigh 8 ounces. So less than $1 at the bins, you can't beat it. But this kind of goes to the it's kind of the bigger question, especially a lot of my newer friends that are like, how do you choose what platform to post things on? What do you do? What do you put in your Whatnot shows? It is your strategy to how you want to live your reselling multi-platform life. Since going to preloaded shows, my strategy is I will preload it in. Usually what I do for like dresses is I do a $12 start. Jeans are between 8 and 12 depending on the brand, because I already know on my platforms I can get a minimum of $25 on these items, minimum. So what profit are you walking away from? Are you walking away from the quick nickel, or are you walking away from the slow dime? That is a strategy you have to create and you have to be comfortable with. Nobody's going to tell you the right or wrong way. The where I started doing this and why I started doing this is because I was running multiple shows a week, and then I went down to 1 week, and this is just on my thrifting side. When I was a high volume liquidator, live seller on Whatnot, we had 4 to 6 hour shows 7 days a week. So when I left that world at the beginning of this year, thank God, bless my soul, I can't do that. That is a whole lifestyle I am burnt out of after 4 years of doing it. But when I went to this kind of new strategy, new structure, what I was noticing is if I was running the items in a Whatnot show, let's just say you give it, and you'll figure out your own time frame, but let's say you give it 3 shows. You ran it in 3 shows and it doesn't sell, it automatically went to static selling. And once I started seeing sales happen from items I couldn't sell for $5 on Whatnot happening over on the static listing with a minimum, again, of $25 sale price, what was I doing? I have chased the fast nickel for 4 years, and I'm telling you, the amount of work and toll that puts on you, your family, all of that, it ain't for me. I'm burnt out of it. It's done. It is done for me. So going into not being able to sell it for $5 on Whatnot, I'm going to put it on my static listings for the market value of it. I always kind of prefaced it, and I was clear with my clientele, because my clientele went from low dollar starts, Target, Walmart, Amazon, CVS, Walgreens. They were used to doing $1 to $2 starts on items, starting now to seeing me doing thrifted items that were $5 starts and then preloaded to higher value. That's because I learned my value matters. My value matters. The market is doing its thing. You know what you could be getting for it on the slow dime side. And I'm going to be completely honest to you. When people utilize that statement, fast nickel, slow dime, it kind of drives me absolutely bonkers, but it's true. I mean, I get the saying of it, because the fast nickel is what the Whatnot is. It is the live auctions. It's all of those things. But the fast nickel is also not accounting for everything that you put in to earn that nickel that truly ends up being pennies. Now, are there seriously successful people on Whatnot? Yeah, if you want to call it that. Yeah, okay. Success is not measured by what they show you on social media. When people are posting their show numbers, they're all of these things. I've been there. I know what it is. Your $50 sale, because you always see the highlight reels. You always will see them on social media. You are not looking at their average sale price. You're not looking at the base. I use 20% of as to what Whatnot takes from your show earnings. It's the closest within reason to utilize as how much you earn to how much you get. Some people use 12%, some people use 16%. I've always utilized 20%. It is the best, closest that we've been able to math it out at after a live auction. But you see all of that. Okay, your $50 item just made up for everything you sold for $2. So yes, that $50 item is that excitement, that, you know, that marketing tool, all of those great things. But when you really start taking a pen and paper to your Whatnot shows, I want you to start tracking your time processing. I want you to start tracking your time prepping for that show. I want you to start tracking your time for packing and the show time and all of those things. And I want you to start looking at those numbers, because when you get done with a show and you're like, hey, I just stood in front of a camera for 4 hours and I just made $1,500, that's great. Go figure out all the rest of your numbers. So that's my 2 cents on that one. You will run your business and be super successful and super inspired by all of these people, and I love that for you. But I also have a lot of feels about that. So I will cheer you on in either way. I will help you. I will cheer you on. I will cry with you after a bad show, whatever you need. You know, I'm that person for you because I've lived it. I know it. I lived it. I breathed it for 4 years straight, my friends, 4 years. So this is not something that is new to me. Anywho, that was a complete other little soapbox that I'm using my time apparently today to talk about. But if you want to dive deeper into that, I'm more than happy to do that. Like, share, comment below. But the question again, the burning question, where do I put my items? What platform? How do I know if I should run them on auction? My biggest thing to you right now is, if it doesn't make you want to cry or doesn't make you want to puke, if it goes for your opening bid, then you're fine. Then you're fine. If you want to sell Lane Bryant, Torrid, Ralph Lauren, and it sells for $5 and you don't care, then that's your prerogative. I mean, nobody's going to tell you the right or wrong way to do it. If you want to take a chance and run it on a Whatnot show and you sell your show out, fantastic. But I highly, highly suggest utilizing the pre-bids, knowing your value. Don't cut yourself short. And I'm also going to tell you, look up brands. What an idiot. I can't believe that. When I looked that up, I about passed out. I did my screen search of it. I did all my things, or my Google Lens, my screen search. Who am I, a 90-year-old granny? I did my Google Lens on it, and the first thing that I saw when it said $280, and that was the retail, and it was on sale for $175. So even $50, people might have been like, you know, you should have marked it up for more, you should have sold it for more, you shouldn't have taken the offer. I would rather take an offer like that on an item I spent less than $1 on my platforms than watching it go for $5 on an auction, because truly also that is the other thing. When you are on a lot, Whatnot is saturated with resellers. So they're watching your shows. They also potentially are picking up the items. A reseller could have picked that up from my dumb panic, I have a show tomorrow, oopsie, and resold it for 50 to 100. I mean, who knows? Some resellers might have put it for $100, and somebody still would have gotten a great deal. So in our life, the biggest thing I think that gets in our way is our emotions too. So I emotionally price. I price with my heart sometimes, and I also sell with my heart sometimes. So it's one of those things, you'll figure it out. You just got to figure out what motion. Everybody wants a playbook on how to do this. There are people out there that give you playbooks. There are people out there that, you know, post all their free content on how to be successful on Whatnot, and I just shake my head. I don't know. To each their own. Success is measured in many different ways. So that's what it is. So I shouldn't have auctioned it. I'm glad it didn't sell, and I'm glad I was able to do some research in it. So, have you ever caught yourself be either before making a big potential oopsie or an expensive reseller mistake, or have you learned the hard way? Because this would have been my learn the hard way. And again, I'm just thankful that it was able to go to the platforms and I was able to get it sold for $50. But not every time. Not every time does that happen. Have I sold stuff super cheap on Whatnot that I was like, Kylie, you're a freaking idiot? Yep. And that includes my liquidation life, because in liquidation, you're solely focused on volume. You don't care. You do not care. You need to get that stuff sold immediately. This life is a completely slower situation. So again, like, subscribe, come hang out with me. I am a recovering high volume live seller, liquidation live seller on Whatnot for the past 4 years, turned curated thrifter. So again, if you're here to learn all the Bolo brands, I'm not your girl for it. I am your girl to live this journey with you, showing you my thrift hauls, showing you the real life behind the scenes, and showing you stupid stuff like this that I could have made that big oopsie on. But that's what we're here to do. We're always learning, we're always growing. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you more than anything. Tell me your thoughts. What's the have you caught yourself before making a huge mistake, or have you made the huge mistake and learned the hard way? Because again, I've been on both sides. Make it a great day. Happy Thursday, happy 4th of July, and I'll see you on the next one.